Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. This is Kristie with AG Takes Over. I am recording this on February 21st. Our Columbus American Girl store closed on February 19th, 2024. So 2 days after its closing. Just needed a little time to gather my thoughts and, of course, gather some images from the literally thousands of pictures that I have from over the years that we have gone to the store. So if you want very short, backstory of when we heard it was closing and whatnot, but mostly just a stroll down memory lane with me, some pictures that I've included before, and plenty of pictures that have never been shown. And if you want to just hear a little bit about why this store is so special to me and my family and so many of us in the AG community, you're in the right place. No promises about whether I will keep it together or not. But yeah, come along for the ride. If you're not a subscriber, most of the videos are probably a little happier than this. They're always about American Girl. This is just it's a bittersweet topic. It's probably an odd thing for many people, the idea that doll collectors get emotional over the closing of American Girl doll stores. But if you've been there and you've experienced it, then you get it. And I don't need to justify it to anybody. I'm just going to put a video out that is an ode or a love letter to our American Girl store Columbus and hope that I do it justice. So let me dive in. In late fall of 2023, American Girl announced that they would be closing the Columbus store. For those of you who've been collecting for a while, this is not uncommon. They have been closing the smaller brick and mortar stores a couple a year, basically for the past few years. And we knew the lease was up. We hoped that we were in the clear because the lease renewal came and went. We hadn't heard anything one way or the other, but there were lots of indicators that things might be okay and we might not be on the chopping block. If you want more information about that, I will link the video that I did about that, right after I got the news, in the video description. But they gave the February 19th closing date, which just sucked. That was a bad day. That was a bad lot of days. And I vowed that, just as I had been doing, knowing that, a lot of the smaller stores were closing and that was the trend with Mattel, that I was going to enjoy every last minute of this store. And I had been doing that before the announcement came out, and we continued to do it. We had a birthday party over the summer. We booked a salon visit for two of our dolls, and my wife and I went and got their hair done at the salon, even though I could easily have done the salon styles at my home. We just wanted the experience. We booked a Galentine's Day tea and took our little one. She had never been to the bistro before. So yeah, we just packed in as many memories as we could. We hosted a well-attended meetup. There were probably, I think, around 50 people, different collectors from not just around Ohio, but other states. So we have spent the past couple months really just squeezing every ounce of joy and magic that we can out of the store. And probably, I don't know, a few weeks ago when we went, my younger daughter and I had made brownies, and that means mostly me because she's 4. So we had made some brownies, and I had gotten a giant card, the oversized thank you cards, and typed up a letter to put inside the card just to try to convey to the staff there how much we appreciate them. And because I typed it, I have it in Google Docs, and I'm just going to read it to you, minus, my kiddo's name. So I wrote to them, as the store's closing date approaches, I've struggled to find words to express how much the store and each of you have impacted our lives. Backstory. My wife had a few American Girl dolls as a child and had fond memories of them that she never shared with me. Just before the pandemic hit, my father-in-law brought some tubs of her childhood toys to town during a visit. Something in there unlocked that childlike wonder when she opened up the tubs. I'm sure it's a story you've each heard while working here. An adult collector who had the dolls as a kid later rediscovers their love of all things American Girl and dives headfirst into the world of adult collectors. Facebook groups, Instagram accounts, YouTube channels, and more, all dedicated to American Girl. My story is a bit different. I'd never heard of American Girl growing up, and I'd never even heard of American Girl until those bins showed up. My first experience with them was witnessing the bewilderingly fast and furious dive my wife took down the rabbit hole. I'll skip a few chapters, but suffice it to say, I quickly went from confused to interested. And if you've seen me in here a gajillion times, you know that for the past few years, we have both been all in. This store has been such an important part of our lives for several years. It's given my wife and I yet another way to connect over a shared interest. It's been a way for our 22-year-old to experience something that I couldn't afford to give her when I was a young cash-strapped mom. It's been a way to encourage creativity and kindness and imaginative play in our 4-year-old, and a place for us to make friends that we've shared meals and laughs and doll tips with. There is a bit of magic in this store, and it's hard to say what accounts for that. The way it caters to children's imaginations, the way it lets adults revisit their own childhoods and reawakens their imaginations, the catchy music, I don't know. And not to sound like an absolute cheeseball, but please know that I mean it when I say the magic of this store would not be near as bright or as powerful without you. Hold on. Whew, okay. I can't read because I have tears in my eyes. Okay. Every store visit, whether it be a doll release event, private shopping event, birthday party, AGIG, AG2 meetup, or a random Wednesday afternoon trip just because, is more special because you have made it so. Making checkout easy, being so knowledgeable about the products, being patient in the face of crazy crowds and impatient customers, being kind to our kiddo and to us, making salon and cafe visits amazingly memorable experiences, and creating inspiring hairstyles and visual displays. OMG, the displays I will remember for years to come. I hope that you have each felt seen and appreciated because you have made this store special to so many people. My family and I each wish you the absolute best, and if you're AG fans, know that we'll do our part to keep some of the American Girl magic alive here in Central Ohio, and we'd love to see you around. And then our names, of course. So I have been looking through these pictures for the past couple of days and being so incredibly grateful for all the memories that my daughter has been able to make. We have hundreds and hundreds of pictures of her in here, and like pushing the same stroller around at all different heights because, we've watched her grow up. This was one of the first places we ever took her when we felt safe enough in the pandemic to leave the house. She was a NICU baby and she came straight from the NICU into a pandemic. And so we spent a lot of time in her early, infancy, just very fearful and traumatized. So this was one of the places that we felt safe coming to when we finally did venture outside of the house. There's a lot of emotion tied to this store for us. And a lot of her development has happened in this store. So, it's very bittersweet. It was really hard to come in and see it progressively over the past month, especially getting emptier and emptier, and know that this date was coming. So February 19th, I got off work at 3:30 and we left immediately after that. Our plan was to spend the entire second half of our day there. We had one friend meet up with us and just stay briefly. She wanted one last trip to the store, and two other friends met up and stayed the whole time with us. We did leave and go a couple doors down and get some food and come back at the end. My older daughter had some stuff going on, but she even met up with us and brought her service dog. And I was kind of surprised that there weren't more customers and collectors coming to like close it out. But I know everybody does what works with their schedule, what they're able to manage, and also not everybody wants to be there at the very last minute. We definitely did, and I'm glad. It's odd stuff that I will hang on to, like Nori, my older daughter's dog, was the last dog ever in the store while it was still an American Girl store. And my daughter was literally the last child in the store. And not including the employees, like our group of friends, my wife and I and our friends Mel and Robin were the last friend group to ever exit that store while it was still an American Girl store. And It was really sad, but it was also really special. And I am simultaneously like heartbroken, but also so grateful for every person that I've met there, every memory that we've made. And I'm going to play a clip for you to end on that. It was time to make the closing announcement that the store was closing for the last time. And one of the employees grabbed the mic and she was going to do it. You can't really see this because for their privacy's sake, I've covered them up. But she just wasn't able to. She started crying and her coworker went over and gave her a hug and then made the announcement herself. And I was holding it together pretty well until then, but I'm a sympathetic crier, so that did me in. Anyway, here is the last closing of the store ever.
Good evening. The time is now 9 p.m. and we are officially closed for the last time. Thank you, and we will miss you, Columbus. Good night.
And that's all I have for now. Thank you so much for your compassion. As I've shared my feelings about losing this store over the past few months, I've wondered if somebody was going to, chime in and give the incredibly unhelpful advice of, just be grateful you had a store. I never have had one, and nobody has done that. Everybody's been really kind and understanding, and I appreciate that. I hope that you're doing well. I promise happier videos in the rearview mirror and looking ahead, happier videos. But yeah, take care.